Hi everyone, and welcome to the White Hatter live show.
How you doing?
Thank you for joining us on this on our November episode.
Yeah, this is number 3, right?
Number 3.
And by the way, I'm Darren.
I'm Brandon.
Hey, we're known as the
White Hatters.
We're known as the White Hatters. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for joining us. You've probably noticed our set looks a little different than last time.
Yeah, you'll notice that our social media coordinator, Candace, she's put some gourds out here. And if you look at our set, you'll actually see that it's kind of getting a little Christmassy right now. Like you can see a pine cone next to Trolga. You can see some holly and stuff. And, you know, it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, so I'll expect probably next episode, this set will probably be full-blown holiday spirit.
I think you're right. I think Candace is she's kind of spawning all this right now because,
yes.
I mean, we just came back from teaching in Vancouver for a couple days, and Beth and I get home, and as we're walking into the foyer of the house, it's all dark, and as I walk through to go upstairs, all of a sudden this big giant Santa, we have this talking, singing Santa that we have. These two, Candace and Brandon, set it up, didn't tell me, and oh, holy moly, did it ever scare the bejeebies out of me, right? Like, it was unbelievable.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a video. It was dark, but I heard him scream because I was hiding on the other side of the door. He walked in. It was late at night. He walked in. This dancing Santa Claus, this animatronic Santa Claus, fully dressed, probably about 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
He walks in, sensors hits, and starts dancing back and forth.
Oh my gosh.
Beth pretty much walked in, my mom, and she pretty much saw him, and he had jumped back because this dancing Santa Claus was dancing. It was hilarious.
And in fact, I think all my police training kicked in because Mom said when I screamed and jumped back, I got into this like kung fu-y move, right? Ready? It's like,
great.
Holy crow. And then I walked upstairs, and you guys had set up all this Christmas stuff upstairs as well. It's like, it's only November, 15th or 16th, 18th, whatever it is today. And like, it's already Christmassy, and it's all because of Candace.
Yeah.
She's a bad influence on Beth. I just thought I'd share that with you. So what do we got going today, Brandon?
What we got going today, we got a bunch of news stories to share with you. We got we actually are doing a giveaway.
Yes, a giveaway. We'll talk more about that.
We'll talk more of that
Yeah.
near the end. Any of you follow us on social media, we're actually doing 2 giveaways.
Two,
so
not one, just
some of
two.
you may be tuning in to see if you will win. We'll talk about that near the end of the show.
For
so
sure.
look forward to that.
For sure.
So
and something we're going to do every show, right? Where we're going to try and give away every show.
I think we're going to try that. We're got a lot of feedback of this episode this month, so we'll definitely keep that in mind.
And then we got something special for Christmas maybe too, right?
Perhaps.
Swag.
We're planning some more stuff. We're always planning new stuff.
We are. No, you are, because that's the way your brain works, right?
It's more so Candace.
That's true. Yeah, she's got this thing going on too, right? So yeah, she's pretty good at what she does.
So anyway, thank you for joining us. As always, during our live show, we love to get interaction from you, the audience. So obviously, like before, you can connect with us. By all means, connect with us on our YouTube chat. If you're on Twitter, you can mention us or use the hashtag The White Hatter on Twitter. Direct message us on Instagram. And you can comment on our Facebook page for this event, and
this is where they can send questions in, right, during our live broadcast, right? Like they can send questions in at any point during our presentation on any of these platforms, and then Candace will flash them up, and we'll get to them as we can.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why we call it YouTube. I say this every single. It's all about you, right? Because that's what makes this successful is interaction, and that's what's really cool about social media is allows us to interact with one another. So
indeed.
Yeah. So different ways you can connect with us. So what's the first thing that we've got going here, Brandon?
First thing on the docket is we want to talk and share about some updates.
And the first one that I want to share with the entire viewing audience. Ready, Brandon? Flash it up. Here it comes. Brandon just got his master's degree. He was at his convocation where he got his master's degree in
professional communication.
And with a subspecialty in?
Specializing in online manipulation and phishing.
Yeah, so now he's got this MA. I mean, he's the academic of the company. There's no doubt about it. He brings that academic rigor to the company, right? I just asked him, he keeps saying, are you going to get your PhD, Brandon? You're going to get your PhD? And the only reason he wants to do that, to be honest, is he wants Beth, his mother, to call him doctor. But Beth says, you know what? I'm not going to call you a doctor unless you have an MD, not a PhD. But, when I asked you if you're going to go for your PhD, what did you say to me?
I said, no thank you. I mean, any of you who follow us on social media, you know how busy we are, and you can only imagine fitting in the time required to do that type of work.
And to be fair, I don't know if Candace could put up with it anymore. What do you think?
Candace, our social media coordinator, and my spouse. I mean, that was a rough 2 years going through a master's degree.
But you did say, you know, maybe in 7 years, like you're not going to necessarily say no, right?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But you'll still stay involved in academia, right?
I think so.
I mean, for sure. So that's the first update. What's the other important update we have for everybody?
The other update is actually we have a new resource out on our website, on our resource page.
Yeah.
And we have gone through, I spent a good week or so going through all the Facebook settings on how to properly secure and lock down your account.
You spent a lot of time on this, didn't you?
I did. I spent probably a good maybe 2 weeks in total of trying to understand and plan. So basically right now on our resource page, we have a tutorial on how to go through securing your Facebook account on the mobile platform and on the desktop platform. And I also have a guide on how to secure and lock down your privacy settings on your Facebook account on the mobile app and on the desktop platform.
Which is important because everybody's going to mobile. And right now, I just want to give a shout out to everybody right now who's thanking Brandon, congratulating Brandon on YouTube right now for his convocation, right? Like that's no small accomplishment, right, dude? But you know what you've done as well on the Facebook, it's free, right? It's on our website. And what's our website that they can go to again?
TheWhiteHatter.ca, and our resource page is /resources. It's on our front page. You can go there, we'll find it.
And not only does he have the Facebook, but you're also going to be doing a video hit on that too, right?
Yeah, much like I did an Instagram guide last month.
Right.
In the next coming month or so, I'm planning on doing a full video YouTube review and walkthrough here on YouTube on our channel on how to go through, lock down, secure, and privatize your Facebook account.
And you know what really kills me is I can't tell you how many experts, so-called experts out there, are saying that all these kids are no longer on Facebook, and nothing could be further from the truth. You know, depending upon where I go in Canada and the United States will dictate what platform is really popular. A good example, we were just in another part of Canada where everybody was on Facebook, but not really a lot of people were on Instagram, right? And vice versa. So I don't think Facebook is dead. A lot of kids are still using it, the messaging component, right, of it, and for sure. So, you know, if they're going to use it, they just want to make sure that they secure it properly and look after privacy and security, and that's what you've done, and it's free, right? It's there for you to look at and get these things, because how many places were there on Facebook that you got to make sure it checked, right? If
you're looking to secure your account on the security settings, it's about 43 steps.
There's quite a few.
And to make your account private, it was about 30 something steps.
Yeah, so almost looking close to 80, 90 different things that they have to do,
truly
right?
secure and lock down your, there's a lot of steps. So I try to make it easy to go through step by step, and look forward to the video coming out hopefully soon once I start working on the script for that.
And for those of you who go there, please comment on what you think Brandon did and what he did on both the Instagram video that you did and what you've done on basically the Facebook steps for them as well. So 2 quick updates for us. So again, how can people connect with us at any time during the presentation?
Again, leave us a comment in the Facebook chat, in the Instagram chat, in our Twitter chat, and the YouTube chat. By all means, you can connect with us, ask us questions, leave a comment. We would love to hear from you on anything that you want us to talk about. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing the live show. And by all means, connect.
You know what? And Luke De La Cruz said, you know, Instagram is a part of Facebook. They're absolutely right? Facebook bought Instagram.
It did.
Right? And in fact, anything you're putting into Instagram, Facebook is also collecting. So, you know, and really Instagram has kind of become like Facebook for teens to a degree, but I still think it's important to know that teens are still on more platforms. And again, depending upon where they are in the country we represent, will dictate what platform they're using more.
Yeah, certainly.
So what do we got going next, Brandon?
Our next segment is the inbox.
I love this. Do you like that little sound effect that I just gave there?
Yes. Yes. So this is the part of the show where we will talk about any significant questions, comments we heard from you when we're out and about teaching at schools and businesses. And the first question...
I'll read this and you can answer it. How's that?
That sounds good to me.
So the first question that came in was from one of our followers on Instagram. And the question was, I have a separate Instagram account from a while ago and can't remember the password. How can I regain access to this account. Boy, I've heard this a lot in our presentations that we've done. I'm sure you've heard it as well. So how would you deal with this one?
You know what? Candace, our social media coordinator, has seen an increase on this, and I have as well.
You're welcome, Candace. You're welcome.
And it's a legitimate question, and I think one of the biggest concerns is that, for me, is that in order, every new account, so every new Instagram account, every new Facebook account, you need a new separate email to make a new account.
Right.
So what we're seeing happening is people will want two accounts. Maybe they'll want a private account for their close friends.
I think they call that a Finstagram account.
Or a
right?
Finstagram account.
Finstagram account.
Or people also want a public account that they share with everyone who can look at anything.
Yeah.
So the problem with that is you need two separate email addresses to do that.
Oh.
And when the problem is, when I investigate these things, I ask the people who ask me, you know what, okay, do you remember the password and the email account you used to create the second Instagram account?
Right.
In most cases, the response is, no, I don't remember the email, or I forgot the password to the email. So this is why it's really important. And I'm considering even adding into, when I'm talking with students at elementary school, adding into my lecture slides, talking about, you know what, you gotta make sure you remember your passwords to all your emails, and make sure you keep a good record of all your emails.
But it's also important that with those passwords that they don't share them with anybody else.
Oh,
right?
obviously,
And
yes.
obviously they should be storing them somewhere other than in their note apps on their phones,
Yes.
right? Because if they do, if somebody gets their phone, they're going to be able to find that password and potentially get into their accounts too, right?
Potentially, yeah.
For sure.
So I think that's an important question. And for any of you watching, and if you have two accounts on Facebook or Instagram, make sure you try to remember and keep safe the email account you use for both accounts and the password, because it's a terrible situation, because Instagram and Facebook are actually really quite secure. And the only way to really recover your account is by having access to the email that you use to set it up in the first place.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think that's important to make sure you have that information, because it's terrible to put a whole bunch of effort into building a really good account, and then you lose it.
Really good information for the viewers out there. We got another question that came in, and this one came in after a presentation that you did.
Yes.
And the question that came in was, is it safer not to label your contacts in your phone as mom, dad, boyfriend, or girlfriend in case someone steals your phone and wants to pretend to be you? Great question. What do you think, Brandon?
I think it's a great question, and it took me a while to think about it. In that, what this individual had, they read this online, that let's say if you lose your phone,
Heaven forbid.
someone steals your phone,
Especially
or
my
something.
iPhone XS Max. Oh yeah,
boy.
it's my precious. Anyways, back on topic.
If someone steals your smartphone, and the problem is, what if someone wants to pretend to be you? And someone could look through your contacts list, find someone like your boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, or dad, and then they can text them pretending to be you. So if you label your contacts with non-descriptive labels, isn't that then being safe? So being doing intelligence work and that kind of stuff online,
investigations that we do.
Thinking about, okay, in practicality, what would that actually look like? So if someone steals a phone, what about first and last names, right? So even though you may not use the label mom or dad, boyfriend or girlfriend, or best friend or whatever, what if I just look into last names, and then using social media to find, okay, looking at your social media account, and then find out that way who is your friends, who are your family.
Okay, you're sharing our tricks, you know that, eh? Shh. But you're right. You're absolutely right.
So I think, and I told them that the best way is to make sure your phone has a really good password. So if someone does steal your phone or you lose your phone, they can't pretend to be you.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the best advice I gave them, and giving them that example, they realized, oh yeah. Does it make it a little safer? Yeah, sure, maybe a little bit, but in practice, not a whole lot.
Yeah. No, good advice.
Yeah.
Some really good advice. So let's see, a question just came in from Evan on YouTube. Maybe you can ask or answer that question.
Evan, why not get a BlackBerry? Why an iPhone?
Why not an iPhone?
I'm trying to figure out if they're trying to troll us or not.
Yeah, you know.
BlackBerries are great. I mean, BlackBerries have been around for a long time.
Very secure, very encrypted, right?
Yeah, Canadian
for sure.
product.
Canadian product, for sure. In fact, we know somebody who worked for that company, right?
Yes, we do.
We do.
So I guess the question there is, are BlackBerries secure? And the original BlackBerry, which had its own proprietary operating system was actually a really good, secure system. But the problem with BlackBerry is that it wasn't really user-friendly.
Especially when it came to apps. I mean, that's what really got Apple its market share. And just what you can do with the apps and all that kind of stuff. And they just didn't keep up with that, right?
Yeah, when the iPhone first came on the market, there were already BlackBerries, and when it came to apps, you can do a lot more things with iPhones and even Androids at the time. So more people bought Apples than Androids because you could do a whole bunch more stuff.
Yeah.
So BlackBerry lost market share. Now BlackBerry is still around. I mean, they implement their systems, their good security into some really high-tech Android phones that make them much more secure.
Yeah, and in fact, BlackBerry is now selling some of its crypto technology to other companies, right? Because they, like it or not, they are very secure, BlackBerries. And you know, so is Apple. And by the way, Luke just said, nice phone you got there, Darren. Yeah, it is a nice phone. I love my new case too, right? Look at this, check it out. Like, this is called a safe sleeve case. It has a little magnet, collects onto there, closes it. So this is actually my wallet. I carry everything with it at this. Just an awesome, but I love my phone. You know what the best thing I love with it's driving Brandon and Candace nuts. You can do these talking emojis now, right? And I can look like a unicorn or a skull or even the poo emoji and I can like talk, and it's so funny. And I was just trolling you. Remember that day where I was just sending it was unbelievable, right? Oh, come on, you enjoyed it, didn't you?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, maybe
just a little bit. I mean, you send them a little too much.
I know, but Candace loved them.
Oh boy,
Candace loved them. So there you go. So what do we got next, Brandon?
Our next segment is in the news.
Yeah.
So in this segment, this is where we're going to talk about some general news stories that came up in the last time since our last live show that we think are relevant, that we want to talk about, discuss with all of you. And if you have any comments on anything we're talking about on these articles, by all means, chime in. We'd love to hear your comments and questions. So that brings us to the first article of attention, and this one here.
Yeah, this is a big deal, right?
I've seen a few of these articles throughout the last couple months where it's talking about the Amazon Echo.
And all these other home smart devices that they're now, because we're moving to the Internet of Things, right? Where you can build these speakers in the home. You can say, you know, it's kind of like Siri on your phone. They're now into all these home pods. But what's really important about this article, what this is all about, is how in the United States, there was a murder that took place down in the United States. And once the police got involved, they learned that there was this Amazon Echo in the home. And what they did through their investigation, they learned that Amazon likely had everything that was going on during that situation in the home. So they now got a court order for a judge that is now ordering Amazon to release all that audio. So what this is telling us, like it or not, is that these devices are listening to what it is that we're saying and doing right now. And the question we have is, what are these companies doing with that information? And that information is now potentially going to be public, permanent, searchable, exploitable, copyable, and for sale. And I mean, a good example is how the police are now going to use it as a warrant. And I really hope that if what is on there is what the police is on there, will help to prove or disprove the crime took place. But, you know, I think we've said this before in a number of our postings. As new technology comes into play, these manufacturers are making this stuff, and the Internet of Things it's become very convenient to have this kind of thing in your home, right? To make it do stuff. But with convenience comes vulnerability, and I think some of that vulnerability is our privacy, right? Like it or not, these things are listening to us. So why not let this technology mature a little bit to see what's going on first, and then make a educated decision about what we're going to do. Like at the Black Hatters conference this year and last year, there were a number of hacks where some of these people showed that these devices could be hacked and people can listen to what it is you're saying in the home.
Yeah, it certainly is a big concern in terms of what exactly and what data is being collected. And I totally agree with that, because sometimes the data being collected can be, you know, it's hard to tell. And I think this legal case will help kind of shed light on what exactly is being shared.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now that becomes court records.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think I just read today, I didn't have time to read it, but one of the news media down in the United States were able to get the information on the information that the police wrote to go to the judge to ask why they were looking for this information. So it's becoming more public about what it was collecting and how it can be used. But again, with convenience comes vulnerability, and we keep saying this about privacy, because like it or not, how these companies are making their money is by collecting data from it and then selling it to people who want to sell us stuff, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So for sure.
Which falls into kind of our next news topic that you actually added into the show this morning before we started.
Yeah.
And that here is an article from Mozilla.
Yeah, and I really wanted to talk about this because our next live show is until December the 16th. And so a lot of the shopping is going to start taking place here, like Black Friday's next week, right? Where
yes, it is.
I still think that some of the most popular stuff under the tree is going to be tech, right?
Oh, no doubt.
And because we are so concerned about tech, especially when it comes to safety, security, and privacy, Mozilla, they created a document. It's just spectacular where it talks about all the most popular tech stuff that is out there that teens and adults can now look to and go to and have a look at, and they kind of rate it from a privacy and security standpoint to help us understand the technology a little bit better.
Yeah, it's an interesting article because what it does is it kind of surveyed people on their sort of ideas of how they feel towards these particular technologies and how much data they collect. So you'll see up in the middle, there's a little emoji, there's a little happy face emoji, and what's really cool is you can actually scroll down this page and the emoji will change to happy face to a unhappy face.
For sure.
And it describes via this icon showing, you know, this like the Amazon Echo is actually near the bottom in terms of how people feel about it, in terms of how much data that it's being collected.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, really kind of interesting message from Conrad Delange on YouTube. Maybe you can deal with that one, Brandon. What did they say there?
Conrad, iPhone has the best software support. You know what? That's actually a really good comment. That goes into the whole Apple versus Android debate.
Ooh.
I don't really want to get too involved in that, especially being here on YouTube. I'm sure we'll hear some comments in the comment section.
For sure.
But that's actually a really good comment in that
we've used Apple support a number of times, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, but also how long, so if you buy a new iPhone, Apple has said that it will support the device through updates for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
And when it comes to things like Android, it's up to the manufacturer in most cases to determine those support updates.
I mean, both devices have their benefits and their less than desirable traits, right? Like they're both good pieces of software and hardware and stuff.
I use both technology.
Yeah, so it just depends upon what it is that you're looking for sure. Me personally, I just love the Apple product, right? And you know it just works for me, and I really enjoy it.
It's the operating system you like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like even though I might have a Mac on my desk right here.
Oh, look at the sticker. There's the sticker right in the middle there. It says the White Hatter sticker.
But we're actually streaming on a PC. So, I mean, I understand there's pros and cons to both systems. In terms of what we do to stream here, I wouldn't be able to do it what I want from this Mac.
Yeah, or we need different software, right? Or
no, and what I want, you would need different software, but what I would want to do and how we set this up, you just need a PC for that.
There you go.
So, I mean, I love both products.
Yeah, for sure. So, by the way, for this article, that maybe you can flash that up for again. If you really want to read it, if you go to our Facebook webpage on Facebook at the White Hatter Facebook page, you'll scroll down and you'll see I've got a link right there on Facebook where you can click to it and go right to that link for teens and adults that want to read more about this technology and what's going to be made available in the area of tech for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, for those of you who are tuning in, thanks again for tuning in and liking it and supporting what it is that we're doing. So
we appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do. What's the next one?
Next news story is this one here. Instagram this last year has been making a lot of interesting, cool updates to its platform.
Yeah, you've really been doing a lot of research in the area of Instagram. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do a lot of work on Instagram. Most of you probably follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you don't, make sure you do.
Please. Yeah. We've seen a huge increase in followers on our Instagram account.
Yeah, we're just over 6,000 people who are following us on 6,300.
6,300.
Yeah. And just thousands and thousands of messages that we get.
Yeah, we're trying to reach that 10,000 mark. So, I mean, we're trying as hard as we can, but we've seen an increase in a lot. And Instagram, I think, is becoming, it is probably one of the most powerful platforms out there to share information and demonstrate cool things.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, this year we've seen things like implementations of name tags, longer story uploads, and you can now add GIFs into messages.
GIFs or GIFs? Come on, Candace says GIFs, you say GIFs. I know, it's kind of like Apple and Android, right? That battle back and forth. Right?
Let us know in the comments if you think it is GIF or GIF. Please let us know because we would love to hear your opinion. I say GIF. You say GIF.
Okay, so if they think it's GIF, spell it with a J, and if they think it's GIF, spell it with a G, because that way we'll know the difference, right?
All right.
Yeah, so that's a good way to deal with
decide.
it. You decide. You decide, because this is YouTube. It's all about you, right? So
anyway, so I just wanted to quickly mention how Instagram has really grown a lot in the last year, and I think we're going to see a lot more cool things.
And we love it. We use the platform all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, IGTV is a cool thing too.
Yeah, that is cool, right?
It's kind of cool. I don't think it's grown as big as Instagram wants.
Yeah, I know, not yet, but it's getting, who knows? We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, you can video chat with 6 people.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Let us know if you use that in the comments. We'd love to hear if you use 6 video chatting on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't use it particularly, but I'd love to know if you guys do.
Yeah, for sure. What's the next one we got?
Next news topic we have is this one. Yeah,
this is the one I wanted to talk about.
This kind of fits into what you were talking about earlier in regards to Facebook and being very demographically based.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facebook dating now available in Canada. Darren, please tell our audience what exactly does this mean?
It's kind of like they're going after the market that Yellow and Tinder and some of the other hookup apps and dating apps are all about, right? And dating apps and let's be honest. I mean, you and Candace, when you guys first met, you met on a dating app 5 years ago, right?
Yes.
Which is kind of cool. But, there's no doubt that Facebook is going after the same market because it's huge right now. And that's kind of what's going on with Facebook as a whole as a company is they're looking at what all these other smaller players are doing and trying to incorporate it now into the one platform.
Yep.
But what one of the things I will comment on is I'm happy that Facebook made this an opt-in rather than an opt-out option, right? Because a lot of times on Facebook, it automatically takes place until you opt out of it. Well, in order for this to work in Canada, you need to opt into it, which I think is really cool. And they've also put some age regulations on there, but as you and I both know, it's easy to trick, right? You can be any age you want online, but it's an interesting thing that is going to be hitting Facebook, or it already is hitting Facebook. So it'll be interesting to watch how this develops over the next several months or even a year to see if it becomes as popular as Yellow or Tinder or some of the other ones that are out there.
It's certainly interesting, at least from me as a social scientist perspective, because this is now because from Facebook is using its behavioral data to help make matches. Where traditional dating apps usually ask you, really broad questions in terms of your preferences, your interests, and what you like.
For sure.
So it'll be interesting how this turns out to be different and what kind of different results you may get.
Well, when you think about it, they got to be using some form of artificial intelligence to look at your Facebook profile.
Well, certainly.
Right? And they're collecting all that data and then using it to compare it against others that are out there that may be what they think compliant with you, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought it was an interesting thing because, again, here's a major platform that's going after some of the other platforms that are out there trying to take market share with them. I mean, a good example is I think Instagram with stories and some of the things that they're doing there is really kind of bit into the Snapchat side of things, right? So it's very interesting to see how some of these big players are going after some of these other things that are happening online right now.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have a question or two on YouTube. So this is more so for you, Darren. Evan asks, what should we do if our fellow classmates are posting images of other classmates in school on the internet?
Legally, there's nothing illegal about it, right? Depending upon the pictures, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, but we need to start teaching more about consent online, right? And we need to start teaching this digital literacy that before you post anybody's picture online, you should ask them for permission first. But if they're taking those pictures and they're posting them online and using them for the purposes of digital peer aggression, what a lot of people call cyberbullying, I hate you calling it bullying because I think bullying just trivializes criminal behavior, right? But if they're using it to target another student in a horrible, evil, ugly way, then something like that, you need to bring it forward to an adult, a teacher, let them know. A lot of times if they're posting those pictures in a mean way, it's also a violation of the social media's platforms terms of service, right? Because most of the major players like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all the big ones, they all have terms of service that say that you're not allowed to say or do anything on those platforms that is mean, rude, disturbing in a behavior. And we've helped a number of students and even schools now get some of these things down, right? Because they're in violations of the terms of service.
Yeah. Another comment from U25, love everything you do, exclamation point.
And you know what? We love what you guys do as well.
We wouldn't be here without you.
That's right. We wouldn't be here without you guys. A little bit of a hit on our little corporate, there's our white hatter mugs and that kind of stuff. Maybe we might give this away during a Christmas show or something. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll think about that.
You never know, right? This is kind of a nice mug. You just never know what could happen during Christmas. Santa's good. Checking his list twice, right? Anyways.
Yeah, and which kind of goes into, at the end of the show, we are doing a giveaway for anyone who entered into our giveaway contest on Facebook and Instagram earlier this month.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing the draw for that.
And there'll be two winners, right?
Shortly.
One from the Facebook and one from Instagram. Yeah. Kind of cool.
But the next news story we're going to quickly talk about is this one here. Current research out of the UK on unintended consequences of sharenting.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this one because we know that there's some parents that tune into us as well, just as many as the kids. And I think what's really important is, the UK commissioner, they found in some research that they did, by the time youth reach the age of 16 in Great Britain, there are already over 1,000 postings online of pictures and text specific to a child. So what's happening are parents are creating these digital dossiers of our kids. They're actually the nexus of it, right? A good example, a lot of women will post a picture of the sonogram of the fetus in vitro and then tag it and put online, and that becomes very searchable. And a lot of parents are doing this thinking that, it's cute and that kind of stuff, but not understanding that maybe what you're posting can come back and haunt your child later on in life. I mean, a really good example of that is, let's say you have a son or daughter, they're 2 years old, they're in their bathtub looking really cute and that kind of stuff, standing up a little naked and, showering and doing, you think, it's so cute. So you've taken a picture and you tagged it and you sent it to your family on Facebook. Well, because you've tagged it, that picture could potentially be searchable. So now all of a sudden, that youth is now in grades 6 to 10, where a lot of this digital peer aggression starts to take place. And I'm the aggressor, you're my target. So what do? I Google your name, and poof, all of a sudden it finds a picture that your parents tagged when you were 2 years old in the bathtub. And so what am I going to do as the peer aggressor? I'm going to copy that picture, and I'm going to use it as a weapon. So these are things that parents need. It's called sharenting. That's kind of what it's been called, is the sharenting word. But it's basically oversharing information that you think is cute today, but not understanding how it could affect your child later on in life. So one of the things that we think is really important is, as your child gets older and has the ability to communicate, before you start posting or taking pictures and posting those pictures online, ask for their permission first, right? Let's start dealing with good digital literacy. This kind of relates to the question that was asked a little bit earlier about friends who are posting pictures of friends online, right? We got to get used to saying that, ask permission first. And this is really important, right?
Certainly important. I mean, it comes down to that digital literacy. And making sure you're being a respectful, digital literate citizen in the online world.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and parents, we need a role model, right? If we're not doing it, then our kids aren't going to do it. So we need to be good role models for our kids. And that goes beyond just sharenting, right? Like, if you're texting and driving, guess what your kids are going to do? If you're taking your phone into the bathroom, guess what your kids are going to do? If you bring your phone to the table to eat dinner, guess what your kids are going to do? And, and believe us when we say tech should never be brought to the table for dinner, because dinner's the best time to kind of mold and bond with a family, right? So, but remember, parents, we're our kids' best role models. So we need to be our kids' best parent and not their best friends when it comes to social media.
Yeah, totally agree. Yep. Next news article we want to briefly talk about is Kids Help Phone.
Oh, this is really important.
It has now gone live with their 24/7 text-based service.
I think this is so cool. Why?
This is really useful because in what we do in helping do interventions with individuals who are undergoing serious life circumstances and you're looking to reach out to seek help and guidance.
And we're up to 184 interventions now, right?
184.
Where young people and even some adults have reached out to us for help because of sexting or digital peer aggression gone wrong, and they were considering self-harm or suicide as an option.
Yeah. And I mean, again, that's why we're here. People can reach out to us. People have reached out to us to help work on this type of stuff.
And they do that they can connect with us on Instagram or Facebook, but there are these other options, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Kids Help Phone, which their new dedicated text number, which is 686868.
Yeah.
Where you as someone can connect with a professional trained to work through and talk about the things that you're going through and look for guidance and help deal with whatever life circumstance you are undergoing.
Yeah.
So, share this number with your friends, your family. Help get this number out. Help us do our job and help people seek the help that they need.
And what I love about this is the more resources that we have out there for our youth and adults to connect when they're in emotional or psychological distress, the more likely it is they're going to get the help that they need, because there's no doubt that talking makes it better, right? But the kids and adults need the ability to reach out and connect with people via a variety of different platforms, right? So phone, the texting thing is really cool, right? And we know that Youth Space here in Victoria kind of does the same thing throughout the province. There's another phone line. Like, a lot of people have heard about phoning 911 if you need help for police, fire, ambulance. Well, there's a new one now called 211 here in Canada, where if you're considering self-harm, suicide as an option, and you need to talk about that or anything else, you can call 211. It'll connect you throughout a number of provinces across the country, where you can talk to people that are trained to help you, and they can speak in all kinds of different languages. So even if English isn't your first language, a lot of these resources have the ability to communicate, to help you and speak in your language, which is really cool.
Exactly.
Like, there's no doubt I applaud the Kids Help Phone for doing it. In fact, it's a tip of my white hat for doing what it is that they did here.
Yeah, certainly. It's a wonderful resource, and we love promoting this type of stuff, and we hope you can help promote this as well, and just get the message out there for these are resources that are there to help those in need.
For sure.
Next news article, what you want to look at before we go there.
Got some questions here, actually.
We got some questions, actually, where we have...
Let's Evan Mayer. That's a good question.
Evan, what is... We brought... What is that? Oh! So it's talking more about pictures in school, in terms of if a school hasn't done any. This is the question you asked earlier. If someone's taking pictures of someone at school and you've reported it to the school and no action is taken, what can you do to help mediate these pictures?
Right. I mean, again, it comes down to what were the pictures, right? Like, it's not illegal for somebody to walk up to you and take a picture and post it online, right?
Yeah.
So if you're telling a teacher that somebody's doing that, just taking pictures and posting without somebody else's permission, I mean, other than the teacher kind of educating the other child and saying, hey, listen, you should really be asking for permission for doing this, legally, there's not a lot they can do. And in order for a teacher to do something, there needs to be some violation of the School Act or the Criminal Code. But it shouldn't stop teachers from at least talking to kids about this very issue, right? So
now, if the picture is different in terms of it's
like a picture of a fight,
violence, that kind of stuff,
then that is absolutely something that adults can deal with. And if it's a picture involving a sexually inappropriate picture, violence, the inappropriate use of language, or where other students are being targeted online, threats, then you want to bring that to the attention. And if that teacher doesn't listen to you, connect with the school counselor. School counselor doesn't listen to you, reach out to the vice principal. The vice principal doesn't listen to you, reach out to the principal. Principal doesn't listen to you, reach out to us. We'll help, right? And we've helped a number of students deal with those types of pictures. But if it's a picture that is other than what it is that it makes it very difficult for anybody to do about that, right? So
certainly.
Another question here from Conrad. There was a story that hit the news recently where a Dutch man wants to change his legal age to get him more Tinder matches.
I saw this article when it went online.
Yeah, what do you think?
I was confused. It's an interesting push. I don't think it will go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think Conrad actually entered into our Facebook giveaway poll. So thank you for commenting and watching. So basically this individual wants to legally change his age to be, I think he wants to be like, he's an older individual. He's like 60 or 80 or something. He wants to be legally known as 30.
Okay, that's just creepy. That's creepy, right? But I mean, it's like anything else. In all these dating apps, you never want to believe the person who you're talking to is actually who they say they are, right? Because anybody can be anybody in any of these dating apps. So one of the first things you should be doing is, we deal with this in our investigations, is if you're going to be using Facebook or any social media to hook up for dating apps, once you get to know the person, start to do a little bit of a background check on them. Let's make sure they are who they say they are, and this is what's really important.
Which will be interesting in regards to what we talked about earlier with Facebook dating.
Yeah.
And that because Facebook's now gathering all this longitudinal data of someone that may be using Facebook to date, which actually was asked by an individual, Life of Potterhead, Harry Potter fan, asked, why would you use Facebook?
At least I hope it's a Harry Potter fan.
Why would you use Facebook to date other people? Well, that'll be interesting because maybe Facebook can help certify that people who you're talking to really are who they are? Because if Facebook's using longitudinal data to match you up with people, well, wouldn't that then potentially be more likely the person you're talking to could be someone real?
And let's just take the name Facebook out of what Life of Potter had said. Why would you use any social media to date other people?
Yeah.
Well, you did.
I
and
did.
that's how you met Candace. And now you guys have been together for how long?
It's about 5 years now.
5 years now, right? So kind of cool, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think online dating is a fantastic tool that we have as a society. It's just making sure you're using it safely. No different than any other app or any kind of life circumstance.
For sure. And Conrad just updated and says, yeah, he's 69, he wants to be 49 now, right? It's like, I'm 53. I wish I could be 23 again, right? But I just can't. So, but it's like any app out there. You never trust the person who you're talking to is actually who they say they are.
Yeah.
But having said that, the other thing I want to share with people online is that I hear a lot of people still teaching this stranger danger to our young people. It is so ridiculous because stranger danger doesn't work. And the reality is a lot of people meet online, both kids and adults, are actually really nice. They're strangers, but they turn out to be some of the best people that you can contact. It's like the real world, right?
Yeah.
You just got to be aware of what's going on, which kind of leads into our next kind of thing we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah, it was this article here that was released in the CBC not that long ago, in the beginning of this month, talking about a sextortion case in regards to some individuals using Fortnite to target minors. Now, Darren, I know you certainly have some comments in regards to this news story here.
Like that, anyways, yeah. I'll let you talk more about Fortnite. But one of the things that really got me irked a little bit, I'll be very honest with you, is two things. If you look at the byline under that, it says, police urge parents. If you look at the byline, it says, police urge parents to talk online privacy. Well, online sexual predation is not necessarily about privacy. It's about understanding how these individuals are socially engineering or luring or grooming our kids online, right? And so that's what we should be talking to our kids. We shouldn't be teaching them stranger danger, because stranger danger doesn't work. And the reality is, online and real world predators, they understand that if I can break down the stranger stigma, then I'm no longer a stranger, so therefore I must be safe. Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to get away from teaching stranger danger and teaching situational danger. In other words, what are the dangerous situations? What are the tricks? What are the lures? What is the grooming typologies that these individuals are using, no matter what platform or in the real world? Because if the young person or the adult understands the lure, then they understand that what that person is doing is wrong and therefore will react more accordingly. Yeah. And the other issue is when this thing hit, I guarantee you, in fact, I saw it in some of the social media feeds that I was seeing, how parents were absolutely going crazy because they thought that Fortnite was full of all these predators, and oh my God, and they were kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. When in fact it was, it was like only 4 incidences, but maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's when this article hit, we saw an increase in individuals thinking Fortnite was a bad app. Yeah. Don't download Fortnite. We heard that.
Yeah, we did.
And here's
there's predators all over it, right?
Here's the thing. When there, in my opinion, there really isn't such a thing as a bad app.
No.
I mean, sure, if there's an app that lets you hack into someone, okay, fine. It's a bad app. Don't download that app. Right. If it's a virus, don't download the app. But in regards to bad behavior apps, there isn't really a whole lot out there because it's how you use the app that's most important.
Yeah, there's some that are a little bit more questionable, like Kik is a good example, right? That messaging app. But again, it comes down, it's not the app, it's how people are using the app.
Yeah, and in regards to, is Fortnite a bad is a bad app? Is it a bad game? No, it's not. And it only talked about 4 cases what CBC talked about, 4 cases, which again, that's not a whole lot.
No, and there may be more, but really it's no different than the real world. And I hate calling it that because in today's world, especially preteens and teens, it's just one world to them, right? It's totally being homogenized into one world. But when it comes to these types of issues, and I keep saying this to parents, when it comes to, especially to sexual predation, it's usually somebody who the child and you either know, love, or trust, right? Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that there's not online predation that happens. It happens. It does. Right? There's no doubt about it. But the secret is, in our opinion, is teaching our kids to understand the lures and how these individuals will groom our kids online. Because once they understand the lure or the groom, then they understand that what that person is doing is wrong and therefore is more likely to react accordingly. Now, specific to Fortnite, Evan Mayer had a great question that I think I'll let you answer, Brandon.
What is your opinion on Fortnite? Do you think the privacy policy is okay? It has a horrible privacy policy. Does it mean it's a bad app? Now, I actually haven't read Fortnite's privacy policy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't read all the privacy policies because they're like huge, massive textbooks.
And sometimes you need like a PhD or a law degree to understand them, right?
So in regards to their privacy policy, you know what? I will actually add that in on my notes. And I will look at that for maybe the next live show. And I'll read the privacy policy and I'll do a quick little analysis of my opinion on it. And I'll report back on the next live show on what does Fortnite's privacy policy means. And actually, that's actually a really good question. I'm actually really interested in what it says. And that's a really good question that I think I'm going to applaud you for.
And believe it or not, Brandon and I are actually privacy hawks when it comes on this issue.
Yeah.
And Brandon's hoping to get his certification as what is it called?
Certified Privacy Professional.
Yeah, he's hoping to have his certification soon in that area as well. So we're big on this issue of privacy and understanding. But again, when things are free like Fortnite, they got to be making their money somehow, right?
Yeah, well, Fortnite uses microtransactions.
Yes.
For online, character skins and that kind of stuff, and some loot boxes type stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's mostly how they make their money. Now, again, is it collecting anything else about users? Probably.
Yeah, and are they selling that information?
I don't know,
Probably.
but we'll take a look at the privacy
we'll have
policy.
A look at it. But that's a really good, and it's absolutely starting to amaze me. Evan, I don't know how old you are. I don't know if maybe you can send us a message to let us know, are you in middle school or high school? But it does my heart good when I'm hearing young people like yourself starting to ask those questions surrounding privacy. So what that tells us is that education is working. That, because we really hit hard on this privacy issue in our presentations, and it's obvious that Evan has heard our presentations surrounding this privacy issue. So, again, I applaud young people that are now actually becoming more informed about what's going on in social media. And that comes from education, right?
I agree.
And that is what's so important. The more we educate young people like Evan, the more likely it is they're going to make good decisions when they're on these platforms.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah. So, what else do we got going?
We're coming to near the end of our live show.
Oh.
If you have any questions, by all means, please put questions into the comments. We would love to respond. Like the video if you're learning something new and you enjoy the content. If you think we should do anything different in our live shows, leave a comment.
Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. And that little ding, that little bell.
The bell icon, yes.
Yeah. Why is that bell icon so important?
Because you get notified when we upload new resource videos. When I upload that Facebook tutorial video, you will get a notification we have a new video.
Yes.
So it helps us.
And Brandon is going to be doing way more videos, and I'm going to be helping him in some of them, but he's the whiz on this stuff. So we're going to be constantly putting this free information online, free content online to help. And if you have topics that you think you would like us to cover in some of these video tutorials, by all means, send us a message on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Send us that, and we'd be more than happy to look at it and make some decisions about what it is that we're going to do. We really do.
We're here to help you, and if there's something particular you want to learn about, send us a message. Let us hear what you want to learn about, and we will do the best thing we can to give you the information you want.
And if we don't know the answer, we know somebody who does. We're big enough to understand that we don't know everything, right?
Just you and I.
Well, yeah,
and
you actually think you know more than me now that you have this master's degree, right? But we as a team, we're pretty good about some of our knowledge in this field. But there are a number of times where we get stumped. But we connect with people who have the answers. And once we get those answers, then we will definitely share them with you, the audience, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so the next part.
But before you show this next slide, there are really cool special effects on it. Here we go.
So the last part of this live show is going to be our
Here we go.
giveaway draw time.
Here it comes. Whoa! Did you see that? Can you do that again? Want
me to do it again?
Yeah, do it again.
All right.
Do it again.
The
Watch.
fireworks?
Woo! Fireworks.
So, for those of you who have been following us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, you may have seen that we are now starting to do draws that we will be announcing the winner on our live shows. And
Yes,
this
we
will be
are.
the first one that we'll do it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So
what do we got going? What we got going?
You will see. I'll actually go over
Oh,
here.
you're going to go offset a second?
I'm going to go over here.
While
and
you're
grab
doing
it.
that, I'm just going to, Mario just asked a question on YouTube. Do you only do one live event a month? The answer is yes right now, but we're thinking about maybe doing 2, and then maybe 3, maybe even 1 a week, depending upon what goes on.
Here's the
right?
thing. If you can help share this video and spread the video and get more followers to watch the video, the more popular this show becomes, the more times we will do it.
And even better, like we're actually thinking about being able to beam people in now to help participate in some of these things, right? Which will be really kind of cool. I mean, what Brandon and Candace have done with the technology to make this happen is unbelievable. I wish you could really see the entire set that we got lights, we got a camera above us. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what's going on. And we think that this medium is definitely the way where things are going. And we just love the ability to share our information and the information from you guys with others in this field and celebrate everything to do with social media. We don't just talk about all the negative stuff, right? Too many people talk about all this horrible, ugly stuff. And yeah, we need to be aware of that. But really, we like to celebrate what's going on with social media. But back to our draw.
Yeah.
Before, can you show the fireworks one more time? I really like it.
Okay.
I just think it's cool. Like watch it.
See that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, go.
If you want to see behind the scenes in the set, I do have a vlog on our channel.
Yeah, you
of
do.
Kind of where I walk around and do a tour of the set.
Yeah,
So
that's
if you
on
want to
YouTube.
learn, it's
On
on
YouTube,
YouTube. So
yeah.
if you want to learn and see what's behind the scenes, check out that vlog.
Yeah.
Things have changed a little bit since the time. Again, this is always a developing set.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Maybe I'll do an update vlog here in a little bit.
So what do you got? What do you got
So for the giveaway, we have 2 giveaways, one for Instagram and one for Facebook. As in the picture, you'll see what you get there. Actually, we're giving out 2 pens.
Not 1.
But 2. So we have our White Hatter stickers. You may have seen these during school presentations. Sometimes we hand these out.
We can put those on like iPhones, on the cases.
These are great for mobile phones. And then what else we have? We
The
have
lockers. I've seen kids put them on their lockers
have
in
you?
school.
I
Yeah,
have not
I've
seen
seen
that.
that as well on their lockers and
we
stuff.
have
Books
our,
on their like duotangs and that kind of stuff on their
cool.
books. Yeah, kind of cool. Yeah.
You've probably seen these if you've seen us present at your school.
The wristbands.
The wristbands. If you haven't
Wristbands.
gotten wristband, you can get a wristband. Or,
Highly sought after wristbands.
yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Big. If you have any of these wristbands at all, that you got, give us a shout on Instagram. In fact, get a picture of the wristband that you have on and send it to us, and we'll put it out there. We think they're cool, right? We share.
And what else we have? We have lastly,
Here
brand
it is.
new.
Right, here
I'm
they
going to
are.
add them first. There's a picture right there.
Yeah, right.
We have our brand new, larger White Hatter stickers, which are perfect for your laptops. And I actually have one right here on my laptop, right there. So you can't get these when we present. We only have them here in the studio, and you can only get them right now during our giveaways.
Yeah. So please comment about what's going on and here. Yeah. But now we're going to do the draw, right?
Let's do a draw.
So remember, who's going to win this? How did they win this? Because a lot of people sent in messages, but there was a specific thing that they needed to do.
So for this draw, there were 2 steps. You had to comment your favorite app that you use and tell us why it's your favorite app.
Right.
We had a lot of people comment saying, I love this app or that app or this app,
right.
but they didn't tell us why.
Right.
So in order to be entered into the hat for a draw, you need to tell us the app and why.
And that's the white hat, right? One of the white hats.
The white hat.
So before you draw, are
next,
you ready to draw or what?
The giveaway requirements will change month to month.
Right.
So please follow us on social media and pay attention closely to the instructions on how to be
Very
entered.
important. You got to read. Got to read.
So we have.
Hold on.
We have a bunch of entries from
looks like it's snowing.
Instagram.
Right. It looks like it's snowing.
So
okay, that's the Instagram hat. So before you draw, hold on.
Here we go. All right, and the winner of our first live White Hatter swag giveaway is
on Instagram.
Curtis_Wilson.
Curtis_Wilson.
So, Curtis, we will be contacting you on Instagram very shortly. If you're watching, please leave a comment. Say, yeah, I won that. I'm the first. By all means, we will contact you in terms of organizing, making sure you get your...
Curtis, I don't know if you're in Canada or the United States, but whichever country you're in, right now Canada Post is kind of on a rotating strike. So although we'll put this in the mail this week, it may get a little bit of time getting to you, but you know what? Hopefully it'll get to you before Christmas, so it'll be a good Christmas.
For those of you who are online shopping here in Canada, do shop early this season because your gifts may not arrive on time.
Unless you're using something like Amazon.
Unless you're using like a dedicated kind of like Pure Later, FedEx, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So again, who won it? Who won it?
Curtis_Wilson on Instagram.
Congratulations, Curtis.
So that was the Instagram hat.
What's the next one?
We also had the Facebook draw.
Ooh, Facebook draw.
Now, quick note on Facebook. We only had maybe 10 entries on Facebook. So
compared to like 100 plus on Instagram.
We had 100 plus on Instagram. So for anyone who had entered on Instagram and you did not win, next time enter in on Facebook because there's about a 1 in 10 chance for this episode to win.
Or enter on both platforms.
Or enter both.
Right? You could enter both right now, right? And don't forget to follow us. Like, a lot of the information that we're talking about today, you can find on our Facebook feed. There's a ton of information, plus a whole lot more that applies both to teens and adults that are watching us right now. So please follow us. And what's our Facebook page again?
It's at White Hatter Team,
and
that's the same handle on all our platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
So are we ready to draw?
I think we're ready to draw. Here we go. All right, so Facebook. The second winner of today's live show is Laura Durick. And they said, my favorite app is Instagram because I like scrolling through memes.
Hey, what's a meme? What's a meme?
Oh, a meme?
Hey, and not a mime, right? Not a mime. Not a meme. What's a meme?
I mean, it depends on your perspective. So there's I don't want to.
It's like a GIF or a GIF. Is that the perspective thing again, or what?
It's commonly referred to as a social virus of sorts, where it is a topic.
Do you need like medication for that or something?
No, it's more of like a social understanding. It's something that spreads rapidly through culture that we all can, sort of attach onto. Now, in modern times, memes have more so mean like funny videos, kind of comedy, text attached to images, videos, like GIFs or GIFs. Please leave a comment in the description on what you think.
I think it's a GIF. I think it's a GIF. You think it's a GIF. That's why you like Jiffy peanut butter. J. Right?
Anyways.
And the creator of GIF says GIF. He doesn't say GIF, he says GIF.
Moving on. Laura, we will be contacting you on Facebook and making sure you get your White Hatter reward.
Swags. We got the swag coming our way, right?
Yes.
Coming their way. And don't forget, next month, we're going to do another draw. And we may have something else special because it's going to be Christmas, right?
We're currently figuring out what we want to do next month. Again, if there's any suggestions you want us to talk about during our next live show, leave a comment, message us, let us know what you want to learn about, what you want us to talk about.
For sure.
That's why we're here, to answer your questions and figure out what it is we want to talk about.
And you will probably have different desk apparel going on. Are you guys going to eat these tonight or what?
I don't know what the plan is with that. Can you eat those?
They're gourds, so
can we eat those?
Yeah.
Okay, Candace says, yes, we can eat those.
But she says, I don't think we should.
She said, okay.
Maybe the deer will eat it. You guys in the deer right now out here, right? Like we got this deer. You guys have called it Mike.
There's this deer that goes on our property and it hangs around. It's not really afraid of people, and which is bad. It's bad, but I mean it's like we called it Mike.
And it listens to you.
It is super cute, and if I make a little sound.
What sound?
Like a little clicking sound. It comes walking. I'm like, what? So, anyways, anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, but you know what? These things are important to understand because this month in the United States, it's Thanksgiving on November 22nd, right?
It is. It is Thanksgiving this month.
Because here in Canada, we celebrate it on October 8th. But in the United States, it's November 22nd. So, as a company, we do a lot of work down in the United States. Yeah. So we just wanted to wish all our U.S. followers down there a happy Thanksgiving, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Enjoy your turkey. Have a good time, enjoying your turkey and everything else, pumpkin pie, everything else that comes with your Thanksgiving, much like it does up here in Canada. So, yeah. So, and guess what? We actually have a turkey up on the white header sign. See it up there in the right corner? You can just see that little turkey right there. There it is, just up there in the corner, to kind of celebrate the United States Thanksgiving. So thank you again. Thank you for tuning in today.
Thank you, everyone. We couldn't do this without you. I mean, again, like what was mentioned earlier from Mario, do we do this once a month? Currently, yes.
Yeah, currently.
But the more we do this, the more popular this gets, the more shows we'll do.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what makes it, why they call it YouTube, right? It's all about you. And we love sharing our information with you. What we like to say is we love what we do, how we do it, and why we do it, right? We really do. So on behalf of myself, Darren,
Brandon and Candace in the control room managing the questions.
And the rest of the White Hatter team. And to everybody who was tuning in on today's live event, thank you very much. And we'll see you again, because our next live show
The next live show is December 16th.
December the 16th. And I think, like I say, I think that the set is going to look a little different on that day.
I think it will.
I think it's going to be a little
Candace
bit more.
just said in my ear, oh yes, it will look different. So we look forward to seeing you next episode. Leave a comment below. And
if you have some questions, you want us to cover off certain things, connect with us on Instagram and Facebook or Twitter. Send us those questions, and we'd be more than happy to cover them off.
Indeed.
So on behalf of, again, the White Hatter team, thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.